principle is exactly the same. You can even use this for black and white printing as well. So you just sort of loosen this to push it up and down for the projection, and this is where you focus here and here. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
is that like fine
same.
focus, that one,
Yes.
or not? Okay.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same principle. Now the filters I was talking about earlier are here. Yeah, and the filters are dialed in on these sort of little handles here on the right hand side. Yeah. And I'll show you. It goes from 0 up to 130.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's the scale for the... So obviously the higher the number, the more dense the filter is. Yeah? Okay, so we'll do a standard setup in a second, but let me just assemble the enlarger first. I'm going to use a 50mm lens because
can I put the lens in just
yes.
as a practice?
Yes.
That way up.
Other way? This way? Make sure you can read the aperture scale. So the aperture scale should face you, so that you can read it once it's switched on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Put it in with the screws, yeah, like you do on the enlarger in black and white. Make sure it's even.
There's only one screw.
Yeah, there's
just one screw. That's it. Okay. So then the aperture. How would I read that?
Okay, once it's switched on.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to read it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. So set it to
F8 or so?
Yeah, stop it down 2 or 3 stops, whatever, because the lenses are all different.
So when the 8 is dead centre, that means that's on the marker, yeah?
Is there any mark or?
Yes.
Well, it means
Yeah.
It's in the centre. If you've got the number in the centre. Okay.
Yeah, there's a marker, there's a sort of line. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let me switch this off because you don't want to keep the enlarger running unnecessarily, yeah? So you take out the negative carrier, you find your negative masks, yeah, 35. Remember, like with black and white, the 2 metal pins go at the bottom, and then you've got the 2 holes so that they match up. Remember? When you put them in, yeah, make sure that the holes match the metal pins, otherwise the mask will not, and the negative carrier will not sort of be completely flat.
So pins towards you, okay.
Pins towards you.
Okay.
Yeah. You need to put it in properly.
So what are the pins? What is it, the pins?
The pins are to actually align your negative strip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they hold it in place. It's really stiff, isn't it?
Just breaking out.
yeah, don't break my nails. No, I can't.
Does it move?
Oh, you moved the plate, not the screws. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
this?
trying to move the...
Can you just
Oh,
show
I
us that?
see.
Ulrika?
Okay.
What did you just do?
Yeah, no, I was doing it wrong. I was trying to push the screws.
What
You're
did
pushing
Ulrika do?
She pushed the button. Push that centre button.
But it does actually
No.
move.
I was trying to
No,
push the
okay.
screws.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
So it locks
Okay,
it in.
so
Do you
that's
see?
your...
And then...
The wall.
Oh, it's
in
the
this
pin,
way.
not
Okay.
just the screws.
So
I'm
it-
just showing you.
Just light now.
So you don't put it... No.
No,
So...
this way. Yeah. Start with this side.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. So again, just make sure check so that the holes are with the pins. Yeah. Put it back in. It should go in smoothly. If it doesn't go in smoothly, something is not quite right. Yeah. So put this out. You've got your focus finder here. Now with your timer, it looks really old-fashioned, and it is. You've got basically 10 seconds here. So if you keep that on 0, it will give you just individual seconds. If you put this on to 3, that will be 30 seconds. These are individual seconds, and these are fractions of seconds. Yeah. So that would be 35.2 seconds. Yeah. So if you don't want any sort of fractions.
Okay, so it's decimal places, okay.
Yeah. So this would be
0.
15.
Yeah.
This would be 5. Yeah?
Yeah.
To switch the enlarger light on and to switch the enlarger on, you press the manual button, so it will start to show and sort of switch on. You switch it off by doing exactly the same thing, and that's your expose button. Yeah, so it should give you a timed exposure.
Okay.
So it switches on automatically.
Yeah.
And that's basically all there is to know. With these kind of enlargers, the Durst, I'm going to show you the other ones in the back. With these enlargers, the Durst, we've got different versions. We've got De Vier enlargers and we've got Durst. The Durst, apart from the different filters, yellow, magenta and cyan, we also have got a neutral density filter, which is the grey or silver one here. Some people don't touch it and not use it, but actually it's really handy, because what it does, if you put that from the beginning into the middle, it's got a scale between 60 and 0, put it in the middle, and basically if you realize you've got your settings and you've done a test strip, but you want to sort of slightly change the exposure time after you've done all the filtration and your test strip, but you realize it might sort of need a little bit less light or a little bit more light, you can do that with the neutral density without affecting the filters. So that's a really, really handy
So they
filter.
can remain the same, but you just change that one.
Yes, exactly. So I use that all the time, but some people don't. So, whatever, start with 30 and then you've got scope to go up or down.
How do you call that? The neutral density?
It's neutral density filter, yeah? The cyan filter stays at 0 all the time. We're not touching the cyan filter. We're only using the yellow and magenta filter. Either at the same time or just one of each. Yeah? What else?
So today you're saying set those at about 75?
Yes, we've got filtration 70 yellow and 65. So if you set that to 70 yellow, and 65. Let me show you another thing. If you switch the enlarger on, because you will be in complete darkness, this bit here, this is like a little flap that allows some light to illuminate your filters here. You want to flap that close once you are exposing, but you can open it up just to check your filtration. Once you're in pitch darkness, you might just want to double check your filtration before you actually self-expose. Yeah? What else? The easel, you just need to set and adjust the easel for the size of your paper, as you do with black and white. Yeah?
I did never get it right.
Yeah,
No,
I
me
didn't
neither.
have to
You never
stand.
got it right?
No, so they image in the
Control.
center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm happy to show you.
Nothing.
Yeah?
definitely.
What else do you need to know? Let me just... Oh, okay.
The focus,
the
same
focus.
as...
It's exactly the same. You place it in the middle of your easel.
Yeah.
Switch the focusing light or the white light on, and then you focus it, trying to get the grain as sharp and crisp as possible, which means then your print will be in focus. It doesn't mean that your image is necessarily in focus, but the print will be in focus. And then you take it off and then you can expose.
Okay.
Yeah? Obviously you can't adjust and focus with this with the paper on there, because that will obviously expose. I'm stating the obvious here, but sometimes you just get muddled up. Yeah? So you have to do that on the easel board, and then you push the paper in.
Silly question. When am I putting the white light on?
Only when you have no paper open.
So
The
I
white
come in,
lights-
it's all dark, or I
No.
set up everything.
No, you
and
set
then
everything up.
I put the light off.
like this.
And I put the paper.
Yeah, and then you set everything up.
So is
Yeah.
there a red light? So
No.
such stupid questions. Is there no
No.
red light?
Well, no. I mean, there is a red light, but to be honest, I find that, I mean, Eileen does it differently, but I find it difficult to remember to switch the red light off, because you might get used to the rather
You just
dim
have
light.
to do everything, don't you, in the light, and then
Yes.
just do the paper, and then
Switch
and
on
then
the
it
light
go-
and then put the
Yeah.
paper.
So, for instance, if I was to set this up now, I would do this in the white light, yeah? But in order to focus properly, you will have to switch the light off, because you can't see it. Even if the projection's on the board, on the easel, you can't really see, the focus properly. So do that with the light switched off, but you can switch it on again, because you have no paper outside. Yeah?
So you focus
And
on
once
those
you, and once you have set everything up, you're ready to go, you take the paper out.
Wait,
Well,
wait,
you
so,
switch
sorry,
light
you,
off,
you,
take the
you,
paper
you
off.
focus with just a normal piece of paper?
No,
or something
you
like
focus
that?
just on
That's
that
only
light.
reason.
How do you mean focus on the white?
You
How do
pretend that's, you imagine that's your paper.
There's no place.
Yeah, but how do you
So you will
focus? There's
see-
nothing to focus on.
You'll have
The
your
image is gonna
negative,
be-
your
yeah.
image will be
okay.
there and it'll be
Alright.
projected
Yeah,
onto there.
negative.
You switch this on, switch the
Okay.
light off, please.
Okay.
Switch it off. Because your eyes
Oh,
will
there.
get used to it. Look, there's a projection here.
Okay.
That's
So your
going
image
into
will
this.
be on there.
Alright.
So
Yeah.
and then you focus with that.
Focus it, and then you can switch the light back on to make sure everything is fine. Yeah? And then you switch the light back off, take your paper out, put it like, you know, you
This
would
one is
do
the
with your
move
test
up
strip.
and down. The focus is this one.
Oh, those
These
two.
two.
Yeah.
Okay. Those two.
There is any difference between using this one and this
Fine.
one?
Yeah, I use that for the finer sort of adjustment, but it basically sort of gives you an extension. It's just two different ways of focusing. Yeah? Now the thing is, there will be a lot of fingering around in the beginning. Don't worry. I mean, you know, the paper is quite forgiving. You know, it doesn't necessarily, once you touch it, it's not destroyed. You know, just sort of touch around.
Yeah.
There's no other way of doing it. You just sort of have to find your way, and you have to sort of get used to the sort of dimensions of your surroundings and of the space, and you just need to do this a lot. You will, you know? And then once you've done this a few times, you will sort of not touch this all around, but you will sort of know exactly where to do it in the complete darkness. Yeah? So don't worry about it. Okay. Let me just quickly show you the other machine, and then I'll show you in a second. So the other machine is at this end. Yeah, let me just quickly show you and two.
Oh, right. Good.
Yeah.
Not another enlarger. Good.
It's another machine. Okay. So again, you would come in, lock yourself in, switch the light off here at this end, and then you would take the paper out, put it in, push it through, and you've got a wider machine here. Yeah. But with this, it would actually come out here, so it folds onto this. Yeah. So your print will come out here.
This is the same as we saw before, the same
With
kind
black
of
and
machine.
Yes. It's just, imagine the other machine is just, there's a wall in between
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why you only see one end,
Yeah.
the other end is in the other room.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just here completely.
How long does it take for the paper to come out?
3 minutes.
Oh.
4 minutes.
And
The light switch in this room is there. Yeah? So you come in, lock yourself in, switch the light out, off, open your box, put the paper in, and once it's in, it will start to beep as well. Yeah, so that you know something is in there. And once the beep is switched off or going off, then you can you can obviously close the lid before. If you've got a small print, if you've got a larger print, you would have to keep it open for as long as it takes to disappear. And then you can just switch the light back on and you can leave. So you're not waiting here for 4 minutes in this room. Yeah, you just push it in, and as soon as this is on, it's light tight, and then you can switch the light back on. Yeah, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then you go back to the print viewing room, or into your
Left or right side or no side?
Sorry.
Did you say side? Left
No,
or
in
right?
this with this one, it's fine either way.
Oh, is it?
It's only the other machine because it's slightly wonky. Yeah, with this it's fine. Make sure, like with the color, with the black and white
Could it be
machine,
anywhere then?
it could be anywhere.
Okay.
As long as it's between here,
Yeah.
on the silver kind of
I'm
area.
yoked down.
And make sure you push them in lengthways, and make sure you push them in straight. And if you've got 2 people in the same room, you can share it, because otherwise it takes too long. Just share it with 2, especially with test prints and test strips. Just make sure that you're far away from each other so that they don't overlap. Yeah? That's basically it. Okay? The principle is the same. It goes through different baths, yeah? And it comes out dry at the end here. Yeah?
Oh, it comes out there.
Yes.
It comes out of that one.
Yes.